Alright, let's get into it then. Should be good to go.
Chapter 16.
Yep.
This is Verg POV, isn't it?
Yes, it's Virgilius.
Yep.
Okay.
You've got a lot to go.
Yep. Finding a way out of the corridor, overflowing with countless doors, was quite the arduous task. Here it is. Walking out the door, which opened soundlessly, I faced a nondescript hallway again. I wondered if Garnet had successfully found the laboratory and with the others.
That's a different translation than I've got here.
It probably was easy since he was always brilliant at locating things. And also, Rikako and Nansue were carrying out the operation without any problems. Without any problems until just before entering the corridor. So if things went as expected, they should have secured the desired technologies by now. Or even rescued the children, which Garnet had been hoping for so badly. However, for some time now, a mysterious shadow had been hovering over my back. An insight that cannot be accurately explained, or a sixth sense. It would be no exaggeration to say that this prognostication has been the leading actor that guides me through my life as a fixer. The shadow that hung over me since I saw Lapis's image seemed to have become even heavier. At the office, I determined that the shadow was probably Garnet's. Even if I could not determine with certainty what or whose light had created the shadow, I could at least guess. Although the majority disagreed, it was ultimately for this reason that I took Garnet on this mission. If one were to think rationally, leaving Garnet at the office would have been more apt, wouldn't it? But against the ring, even more so. Garnet's experience is too lacking for him to fight even a lesser opponent head-on. That said, he is unskilled in hiding his emotions and deceiving his opponents. In fact, the opponent may even seize the opportunity to win by taking advantage of his emotions. Nevertheless, I've never been comfortable ignoring this sensation that wraps itself around me from the nape of my neck. It was as if something was on my shoulder, pointing out that I should go this way, an abominable but irresistible pressure. I call it flow. As I continued to live as a fixer, the pressure became stronger and clearer. Perhaps my accumulated experience overflows instinctively at a time like this. I let Garnet ride on this flow, and now he cruised on the bursting stream. At least until a while ago. Come out. But this unwanted shadow that presses on my shoulders now has become a different flow. It is an unpleasant presence with a bloody taste and smell. I quicken my pace. The identity of the shadow is not far away. I know where it's pointing towards.
As expected, there was no use in trying to hide from you.
Footsteps are heard in the hallway ahead. They aren't the footsteps of either Garnet, Rikako, or Nansue. Their owner is much taller than them. The footsteps try to somehow hide their anxiety, but they are not the sounds made by the shoes worn by the ring, a third party of unknown affiliation. However, his voice and bloody smell were very familiar. I actually have no idea.
If we've seen each other 3 times, we must be old acquaintances, no? It seems we have quite a connection.
Believe he was Gubo from N-Corp? This was the person I saw at the gallery and at the auction house. Is he the new flow? I need to investigate the sensation of mine more to see how it led me this way. Your coat is covered in blood, no?
You're correct. In order to come here,
You killed them all. The auctioneer, the people in the hallway. Gubo raised his eyebrows lightly and smiled impishly.
I thought I'd lower your guard by pretending to be injured, but it seems that didn't work.
I had a feeling some people were accompanying you. His smiling mouth was slanted, thin and long.
Well, in a battle there are always losses. I was just lucky and didn't suffer any.
He doesn't really look like it. His gloves are clean without a trace of battle, and his coat is stained with blood but does not appear to be torn or ripped in any way. He must be standing here in exchange for the lives of those who accompanied him. They fought while he hid himself.
There was no other way to get in here. I didn't want to break any of the rules of the auction, but you put me in a tight spot.
He spoke in a very resentful tone. He seems to be referring to that last art piece, if you can call it that. for which we won the bidding and received Jumsoon's invitation. Just before that, he had offered 10 billion on for it as if it were nothing. No one at the auction house was surprised to hear that amount, but perhaps he was planning to forge a connection with Jumsoon to that huge deal. In addition, one could conclude that there was a fairly pressing reason for him to make a breakthrough with Jumsoon, seeing as he was offering such a sum of money.
Oh, I don't want to blame you. Don't misunderstand.
The fact that he didn't raise an eyebrow despite raising a sum of money great enough to upset all those who enjoyed an upper-class lifestyle. The fact that he could smile unconcernedly despite having killed all the 20-plus people in the auction house. The emotional turmoil of fighting against the ring, including some docents, couldn't have been small at all. Even so, he's able to keep his composed expression and even joke about it. But a feeling of insecurity, obsession, and yearning can be seen reflected through it. He is a person willing to pay any price for the sake of his goal. He's constantly calculating ways to reach it, even if it means deferring to consequent emotions and conduct. So this is how the flow goes, huh? I suppose you showed yourself because you want something.
Tell me what your original goal was.
Oh,
it would be wise to tell the truth. Are we sure this is Virgil and Gubo?
Yeah, I think you guys
I think this is Gubo and a...
No, I just now realized when I read the bottom.
I was genuinely unsure too.
Average PM novel reading experience.
God, just put a said person there, someone, anyone.
Hey, listen, Anush, you can't blame us for this one. This one is mean.
Okay.
I suppose you showed yourself because you want something.
Tell me what your original goal was. It would be wise to tell the truth. His glasses momentarily glint in the light. His expression shows I finally got through to him.
Haha. Do you think I would have a reason to lie?
Bloodstains harden on his glasses, make it appear as if their bloodstained red color is dwelling in his eyes.
They've stolen a valuable asset. We just came to look for it, to ask for it back.
He seems nonchalant, as if he has come to retrieve a tool he loaned, but I also sense a smoldering heat deep within. Doesn't seem to be a material asset. The image of the laboratory from the videotape flashed through my mind. What is that asset?
I guess there's no good reason to dare hide from the red case. It's a researcher called Asaya from the League of Nine. It takes an extraordinary amount of gusto to steal a scientist who reports directly to a director, you know?
It didn't seem like he was lying. He must have known exactly what would happen when a lie is exposed before me, and he must have calculated that it would be to his advantage to tell the truth. I, too, calculated the value of my next question. Which director of EdCorp? If he was a target of little value, killing him here and now wouldn't have been a problem, but an intriguing word came forth. The board of directors of EdCorp. Various personalities come to mind, but I'm not sure they strut around this much. Director
That's you.
Herman. I was getting there. Director Herman, perhaps.
I'm surprised. It seems I shouldn't open my mouth so carelessly.
If the Ring are those who believe only in what they see, then EdCorp is a company obsessed with being seen. Is it any wonder, then, that their pursuits overlap with those of the Ring? If Herman instructed this man to come in and retrieve the researcher, there is a high probability that he's involved with that lab. Garnet is going to love this. Are you trying to add a new feature to the suicide vending machine? Gubo's eyes narrow.
It's difficult for me to say more. It seems you know that anyway.
No matter how hard I try to conceal it, I couldn't hide a momentary feeling of mine. That being relief. The suicide vending machine, one of the leading symbols of EdCorp, has received countless condemnations and amazement from other nests, but at the same time, it's an open fact that it is the main source of income and culture for EdCorp. It's impossible to estimate how many people move from their nests to EdCorps to use the suicide vending machines. It is still considered to be a unique structure only of EdCorp.
I can't take this seriously.
Yeah, I tried not to laugh. I tried.
I'm so sorry. I cannot take that seriously.
I'm just. I'm imagining
Oh
people
my
going
gosh.
to N-Corp just to find one of these vending machines. They're like, well, off to kill myself.
They have to pay for it too. Like, damn, bro.
Oh
You
my
pay for the
gosh.
Just find a tall
experience
building at
without
that point.
actually dying.
Going in for the suicide vending machine. Yeah, cola, water, suicide.
Actually, wait.
You could.
Wait. You could just stay out until the night in the back streets at that point.
Yeah, like seriously, why don't you just wait for the sweepers?
I
Yeah.
don't know.
I
Maybe
guess it's
N-Corp
painless
doesn't-
compared to it.
Maybe N-Corp
assuming.
does it in a way that's like very appealing to people. I don't know.
I don't know, man. It's dumb.
They could harvest their own blood because it's a suicide pool.
I don't think
But I don't
Bird
think
goes
they get
either.
that far.
Maybe it's about the
They
members
don't
team
get that far.
in this count to 10 that we're gonna know about. Maybe that's how they harvest the memories.
Oh, probably.
I can pretend to know or not know what his ulterior motives are, but either way, this must be quite a difficult subject.
I have revealed all that I can reveal about this. We have different reasons, but our destination is the same, so why not accompany each other?
Although the subject matter was a proposal, it was practically a plea. He knew very well that if I didn't accompany him, there would be nothing waiting for him but death. I stared him down, uncaring. You are thinking about how to use me, aren't you? He read my expression and promptly spoke up. This man is skilled in savvy thinking. He reads the situation
Wait,
and
reading it again. I think. Is it
oh
Bruce or
shit, that's
Google?
you again.
I'll give that to you. I also
Two
thought it
people,
was.
guys.
Oh my
I
gosh.
also thought it was Virgilius on my first read. God damn it! That's three who stopped.
Leviathan reading experience.
Look, you cannot blame me for that one.
No,
No,
no.
I
can't blame you
also
for
thought
any
it-
of them.
I
These
also
are
thought it
so
was Virgilius
bad.
at first. I also thought it was Virgilius. At this point, we need to rename the channel to Who's Talking.
Yeah, start
go ahead.
start a new series on YouTube where we read through these things again, but the entire premise is who the frick is talking. That's kind of what it is anyway.
It is called the scuffed readings, so
Yeah,
yeah,
they're called
it
messy
makes
readings
sense.
for a reason.
The Messy Project Moon readings.
Yep. Alright, continue.
You are thinking about how to use me, aren't you?
He read my expression and promptly spoke up. This man is skilled in savvy thinking. He reads the situation and reacts swiftly based on the pieces he has on the table. Therefore, I decided to wait a little longer, until he shows me the last move he has.
In that case, let me make another offer.
I nodded, allowing him to continue.
Isn't the purpose of your coming here, after all, also due to this glass technology being developed by the Ring? Because it seems that rumors are already circulating that the new singularity will be observed by the Ring.
I replied neither in the affirmative nor in the negative. I did so to make him believe he got it right. That technology is called glass.
Correct. If all goes well, maybe Asea from the League of Nine and I can give you some of the materials that are produced by the apparatus. Now, isn't this enough to close our settlement?
I think back to my memory of the videotape. With cooperation of Asea, who seemed to be overseeing the experiment, the necessary materials could be easily secured. That was the initial goal of our office. In addition, we could even account for the safe removal of the children from the experimental equipment. That'll make ends meet. Alright. Shall I accompany you?
Very good. I can assure you of the material's value.
Just give me everything, and then destroy all that is left. Make it seem as if nothing ever existed there in the first place. For the first time, his face grew dark. I wondered if he would make a face like that once the math stopped adding up.
Isn't that demand outrageous? What are we supposed to take back?
Wasn't your corp's goal only to secure Asea in the first place? The collateral seems to be what you desire.
For someone who speaks so confidently, you seem to be empty-handed, don't you?
He was very quick and deft with his hands, arming himself and closing the distance between us. A karambit, A weapon suitable for cutting, clawing, and ripping. Furthermore, if you put your finger in the loop on the end of the handle and grip it, you can prevent yourself from mistakenly letting go of the weapon. However, only happen if you can reach the enemy. As expected, Gubo's combat experience was not extensive enough to feign proficiency. Garnet wouldn't have fought like this, thrusting his weapon forward before even being near his opponent.
Bro, why did they design him like this? He looks so dumb.
Look at his hair.
He's such a dweeb.
What's the hairline?
It's a researcher's hairline, I'll say that much.
Oh.
The arm, thrust out unskillfully, was no different from an ingredient prepared for easy cooking. Oh, hi, Mega. And the joint broke in its naturally...
Hi, Mega, you've already been replaced.
Eventually dropped its weapon to the floor. His pupils narrowed as if he hadn't calculated this scenario. Or perhaps he was gasping in pain. So too did his throat as a space for breathing narrowed and became obstructed. It seems you may have been slightly mistaken in your calculations. I told Gubo as he looked back at me.
Oh, now you fucking... Very cool, PM.
I told Gubo as he looked back at me, his neck strangled by my right hand, dangling in midair. The value of... Is this... I think this is
I
Gubo.
think
Yeah, that's for Jelius.
That's Berg. I'm stupid. The value of your suggestion is worth this much. I squeezed his throat a little tighter until it blocked the grunts he was barely able to spit out. Only enough for me to not put any more forward. After a moment, I relax my hand and he falls to the floor, coughing violently.
Your reckoning is cruel to the point of being tight-fisted, isn't it?
It's a privilege of being a color.
Only joking.
Wait, so, Mega, if you're here, you want to swap out? Because I don't mind giving the roll back
We
to
can
you.
discuss it. I was figuring we could finish this chapter and then reconfigure if we wanted
Fair.
to.
Okay.
Now then, you don't even know where the location of the laboratory is, and I'm quite sure the price of my guidance would be substantial. Gubo, who was stroking his neck and straightening his wrinkled collar, stared at me.
You already knew?
Yeah, so just follow me quietly.
It would only be polite for those defeated in calculations to surrender. I'll do as you please.
Only Mai and Gubo's footsteps echo in the corridor. There was no sign of anyone. Gubo tried to talk to me, perhaps not liking the atmosphere.
Incidentally, did you let your colleague go to the lab first? That being the kid whose eyes went like saucers when I stated my amount.
Yeah, he ought to be together with my office's family.
Family, eh? That sounds good. It's also a word that doesn't fit you terribly well.
I was bothered by the fact that he was acting like a know-it-all, even though we had only just met, but I couldn't deny it. Family was not a word I typically used. Garnet or Yen, and occasionally Denver, would use it in passing. Rikako said it was strange and showed some signs of displeasure, but soon got used to it, and Nansui would laugh quietly as usual.
I think that's Virgil?
Probably. Sitting around the table eating together every day, isn't that what family is all about? I recall Garnet murmuring to a disapproving Rikako as he puffed up. Things that I had casually passed by at the time began to sting and cling to me like a prick in my throat. Sometimes I suddenly remember things like this when I'm alone amidst the silence. Maybe I haven't yet been able to expel my emotions.
Oh, I see we've arrived.
Big picture. It's just a door.
The door.
Door. We stopped in front of a door. eyes, sculptures in glass. I repeated in my mind the mental cipher Lan gave me. Then I pulled the handle, opening the door lightly. I see the hallway to the laboratory, and beyond it I see people lying on the floor, having breathed their last. They were of the ring. I felt relief for some reason. There could be no more certain proof that Garnet had found and entered the lab safely.
I'm surprised to learn that kid had more basic skills than I'd expected. At first, I wondered why you would bring here a naive little boy.
Goopo pretended as if he was in marvel. I did not respond. There was no need to express my feelings. Indeed, I might have been in a hurry, and I also dimly realized that I get quite emotional when something involves Garnet. Maybe he realized it but pretended not to know. I had no idea how loose I might have gotten, given that I didn't hide the proud look on my face. However, I heard no sound where there should have been one. I am sure I should be able to hear Garnet, Nansui, and Rikiko's voices here.
Can you hear the crying? It's like children.
When Kubo's words stopped. Why did my flow always point to the wrong place? Why did the shadow go toward the ruins instead of the peaceful valley beyond the mountains? But it was always in ruination where success was buried. Did I not move along with a shadow sitting on my shoulder, knowing it was towards ruin? Perhaps I thought it might have been different this time. That Garnet's shadow would never become this dark.
Is that the family you mentioned?
Oh, fuck off. Cries are bubbling up in the laboratory. Abysses were crawling across the floor that could only be found in the outskirts in ruins. It would be better to give up mentioning it. It would be better to give up mentioning them any further. And in the center of it all, there was a red jewel shining alone. Where have I seen this color before? The color that covers the sky when the sun sets over the mountains in the west. No, the color of a bruise on a shredded chest. No, it's the color of a fruit that ripened and ripened until it finally burst open. There lay Garnet. I knew it without gazing at all, without peering into it. That Garnet was in the gemstone of a color exceedingly similar to that of my name. I wondered if the unfathomable gravity pressing down on you was too much for you to handle. The faces of the children waiting for their presents at the orphanage suddenly came to mind. At some point, my flow stagnated. There was definitely a slow flow caught in my gaze. If I had let that flow carry me along, I am sure I could have turned the city itself upside down. But I deliberately ignored that flow. Instead, I tried to accompany the dim flow that hung onto my shoulders and back. Because that flow was my flow. And I would have been able to control it. And because that slow but brightly colored flow and I were so different in nature, perhaps when I led that shadow toward the bright, it would be filled with lights. That's what I thought. However, shadows are only black, and they can never shine white by any means. After all, shadows are created by blocking out light.
Edgy.
Thus, this time too, I arrived at a ruin, a corner of hell. For the first time, I realized that the shadow on my back was pointing in the direction of a sluggish flow. That if I went any further in the direction of this flow, I would never be able to return. I should stop. This is not a job of saving the children for Garnet's sake. I can't choose a flow any longer. I can see only myself getting swept away in them. Because of this life I've grown so accustomed to. Because I cannot ever break. I just can't. I can only watch the wailing reflected in front of me. Amidst the wailing, I could sometimes see it crumbling. My family's struggle.
Bro, Virgilius's flow sucks. Like, what is he
You
even
can't
talking
put
about?
that in Jiva.
Julius.
You ruined my whole freaking flow.
Yeah, like, what? The flow is a complete bunk, bro. Okay, are we putting Mega back in? Mega?
Mega, do you want to go back in?
Be fine with it.
Do you want back in then?
I'd
good
be
to go.
fine with it.
Alright, we'll put Mega
Did
back
y'all
in.
hear
and-
me?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
putting Mega back in, and V, you want Carmen back?
Yeah, fuck it, sure. I mean,
He got into voice Carmen, of course he wants Carmen.
Yeah, you signed up for Carmen from the start. Like, come
I
on.
did sign up for Carmen. I just.
All right.
Fuck,
I don't think there's anyone we need to replace here. We should be good to go. Yes, Verge is a knockoff Batman with more brooding.
Knock off Batman. Wait a minute.
Oh, what? Okay, what is that fit though?
Where did you get Batman?
Batman from Timu.
I mean, if the moment Verg suddenly gets in a bat suit, let me know, bro. I need a picture of it.
Tell me when Virgil gets the fucking utility belt instead.
Like, what is Virgilius even on about? Alright. Okay, so Mega, I believe this is Virgilius.
Get ready for your
narration from
voice to be
here
shot,
on.
buddy.
So here you go, Mega. Take us away.
Yeah. There was a cry rising from within. The beginning of every human being is also a cry. Just as in the old tale that speaks of man's exhaustion from paradise for committing the sin of coveting the forbidden fruit, mankind once again weeps as we are burdened with life. For the sin of very sin is too great. I gaze at the red jewel, or perhaps it's a red egg, standing before me. I thought of calling his name, but I immediately gave up, because I found my Gladius lying on the floor. Garnet never handled anything recklessly. Maybe due to his years in the orphanage, where the concept of ownership was vague. Perhaps he realized early how to survive in the city. He even kept the wrapping paper from the gifts I gave him. That's why I know the painful reason behind the Gladius lying about. I left the Gladius. The crawling whalers approached me. Among them, an unsightly flower-like thing ran towards me before the others. Goob had taken out his karambit before even the thing Goob has taken out his karambit even before that thing reached me. Without thinking of the consequences, he thrust it right at me. I extended my head to stop him. Don't forget your original purpose.
Why?
Were these flipped, maybe?
No, I think that's
so.
good.
I think you guys got it right.
Guba shrugs his shoulders after looking doubtful for a second and heads for the corner where the one called Aseach is. The thing comes near me in a panicked manner. It opened a gaping hole that seemed to function in its mouth, appearing unable to resist tasting anything that could fit in there. It seemed like it would continue roaming about the past, present, and future. I could hear the clicking sound of its teeth, which cluttered a thin layer. Surrounding the teeth is a bundle of threads clumped together like a dandelion flower seed. But they are not pure white, but a grey that has forgotten sunlight. Perhaps these flower seeds will never soar through the wind. They are far too heavy to fly away like cotton wool. However, if I cut it open with a gladius, they would easily disperse, but use what I have for a decapitated head. Heightened thermogeneration, heating creeks to its utmost limits. When the temperature had reached a point where smoke could be seen, I inserted a scorching iron blade into its mouth. As if waiting for it, countless fangs rushed towards my hand.
Key.
However, not even the very tip of a single tooth reached me. A strange moaning sound simultaneously. The soaring heat and a strange moaning sounded simultaneously to the searing heat, and the terrible burning smell spread. The red-hot gladius appeared to have sealed the mouth of this greedy one, yet the open eyes of this thing still looked directly at me, and its mouth, which refused to close, constantly prodded at me. This thing doesn't know how to give up. It has no patience. It's only filled with a desire to chew and swallow. As I pull out my gladius, a bloody sensation fills my head. My vision is disturbed by the cries, and memories of the past rush between the cracks. When one lusts insatiably after riches, nothing will ever suffice. Denver was the first among us to realize that. After many nights of extreme hunger to the point of fainting, Denver had become a voracious whirlwind. Driven only by desire, she leaped forward, unconcerned if it caused all the worlds she traversed to crumble. Such feelings of fragments that had one day been her meals. I'm not so different. Perhaps I was even more miserable. For the sake of the children in the orphanage, to protect the office, I endure my own. I repeated numerous such excuses as my reasons and turning points, but I, and her too, simply wanted to catch something to eat to make us feel alive. We were all hungry. We were too busy forcefully trying to satisfy our desires, sinking our teeth into somebody's flesh, consuming it without being digested properly. I am no different than I was then. I peeled off a piece of the flesh and tangled the gladius.
D7.
Jump soon.
Jump soon!
Jump
D7,
soon
are you
will be
alive?
delayed.
D7, are you alive?
You just say that
That's for 10
something came
minutes.
up and you need
Something
10
came up.
minutes.
10. Oh, okay.
He did. He
Even 10
freaking
minutes.
died.
While
Oh, I can't
writing, I read
believe
ahead a
D7 is
little,
dead.
and Asaya is also has a speaking role in this chapter, but he doesn't seem to be in the.
Isaiah has a
greeting what
speaking
the-
role? Who is Isaiah?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Who
I'm
is
sorry.
Moron, I think.
No, Fen, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. I didn't realize the
Isaiah
Isaiah from the League of
long-lived
Nine was
Johnson.
relevant again.
Who's taking Isaiah?
I could do it
Okay, Cyro, you're Isaiah.
if you want. I'm a Seiya. God.
Alright,
I
Is
mean,
it
give us
boy
this-
or girl? I forgot. Seiya.
give us his
Isaiah's a guy.
catchphrase.
I'm Isaiah. from
He's
the
a
League
Seiya
of
of the
Nine.
League of Nine.
That's his catchphrase.
Wait, what?
Yeah, show us your Asaya impression. Give us his catchphrase.
I forgot which one is this one.
I'm Isaiah
I'm
from the
a
League of
Saiyan.
Nine.
Of the League of Nine. Does it have to be a twink or what? I don't know. A woman?
Yes.
No,
He's a
twink.
dude.
Oh, it's a twink.
This dingus.
Alright. Yeah. Yeah, that's a
Is
twink.
he wearing a bodysuit?
Yeah, that's a twink. There's no way that's not a twink.
How
He
does
is.
that
That's a
outfit?
body
He
suit.
just is.
Alright.
Might
V,
not
I'm
have
very
at this point in
disappointed
time,
that
though.
you didn't make Virgil's narration call him Asaya from the League of Nine.
Because Asaya addresses Asaya as Asaya from the League of Nine. Virgilius doesn't care.
I'm a Seiya from the Leagues of Nine.
No, you're just Asaya.
Only
deal
one
with it.
league.
Alright, where is it? Which line do I have to say?
He's later.
Yeah, we need jump soon right now.
Yeah, D7's gonna be back relatively soon, I hope. Something came up.
Okay. We shall wait.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna have time for Anoush to come in, so we might need to replace Anoush right now, too. Who wants to voice Caroline?
Shouldn't you just do it? Since you're not voicing anyone.
I mean, I guess I could just do Carol. I guess. I don't really want
Thank
to.
you.
I mean,
Thank you,
Carolyn has.
At least you didn't
I mean,
destroy
Carolyn has
your
barely any lines in Undo, so that'll, I guess.
Hey,
be okay if
guys,
have to do her
I
there.
don't want to sound rude or anything, but I'm kind of sweating buckets already, and it's not even 12 p.m. already, so if I collapse in the middle of the thing, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what?
Oh, okay.
How's that rude?
It's 30
that's
degrees
legal
inside
laws.
the house somehow. My
No,
mom refuses
oh.
to get air conditioning because she thinks it's dark magic or something.
Air
I think it's
conditioning
fine
is
to say you
amazing.
might collapse. I don't think you saying you might collapse is rude.
How
Uh,
dare
I
you
don't know.
collapse? This actually gave me
Oh.
cancer.
wait, what?
What?
Sunlight give you cancer?
No.
You heard it here, folks.
no,
The
I was
famous
making a
author,
joke.
Computer Shop has cancer.
I was making a joke.
That's a funny joke.
Somehow that redirected me to the cancer ray incident from one of
Harley
the.
Quinn?
Yeah, that one.
Peter, the horse is here.
Holy crap, guys. This reminds me of the time I was Virgilius from Limbus Company.
Peter.
Oh god, who died?
Oh no, it's that Rose. The British one is here.
Hey, I converted someone into the Xena cult.
The what?
The Xena cult.
There's a new cult.
No, just someone into liking Xena.
Oh.
How many cults is in here? I remember there's a
everything's a cult.
The Q, Dulcinea and Q.
Oh, Virtual Wolf.
Yeah, Virtual Wolf, yeah. Now, the Enoch cult is an actual cult that Rodian started in canon.
Yeah.
That is an actual cult that has been started in canon. This is just general people liking characters. I'm just calling it a cult.
The Enoch cult was started by who?
The what? The Enoch cult?
Should I type welcome?
Rodian?
Should I type welcome to the cult?
Rodian started a cult in Undulation canon, yes.
Yes, I remember that. The Enoch cult.
No, I was hearing that out of context. I heard that out of context, and I'm like, what?
Rodian started a cult.
Should I type
Yeah,
welcome to the
that's about
cult
right.
as a reply to their comment?
I mean, she was in the Eurodivier. I mean, she's used to it.
Yeah, she is.
That's crazy. Oh, Jumpsoon is back.
Yeah, I'm back.
Sorry, I'm replying to a comment, but you guys can go on. I don't think it should be showing the right stuff.
It's showing the word name thing.
It's showing the doc.
It's showing who is reading Leviathan.
Oh shoot. I'm dumb.
The red gaze. You didn't seem to know, don't you?
I looked towards the voice and I heard and see Jumpstone gasping, barely able to stand. Wounds could be
Ionish.
seen all over his body. Was he pressured into a struggle during this fight with Garnet, or the crawling whalers stubbornly cling to him?
This thing's true identity. Shall I tell you what it is?
I silently approached Jumpstone. It was all too obvious that he was anticipating me. His eyes watched to see if I would fall to my knees in anguish in the face of despair. However, another whaler tried to close the gap. I twist the handle and make the blade burn hot red. It has several feet attached to it, bare feet. They're completely swollen, as if it had wandered from place to place. On his feet, an unusual piece of cloth clings to them. It's a fabric with a jumble of blue and black patterns. I had seen that before. I had seen a child in the orphanage wearing it hide a large scar on her ankle caused by the broken glass. It belonged to a certain child from the orphanage. With displeasure, I am reminded of that day. There was one day that children always waited for with bated breath. On that day, they were lavished with gifts and blessings simply because they were children. On the day before it, the children were unable to sleep properly. I always wondered if the weight of anticipation must act onto me. The weight of massive packages I held with both hands never particularly felt bad. Garnet later told me that the reason the kids waited so impatiently was not to receive the presents, but to see me become particularly generous with my laughter that one day. When I realized why their faces would become so bright as they looked into my eyes, to the point of forgetting to put on their shoes, I couldn't help but truly smile.
And still,
I wonder if this was the place where those feet, determined to reach the end of the line, finally stopped. The feet ran into my body with all their strength, unconcerned if its flesh would be slashed here and there due to the impact of its trunk would become inflamed. Its soul perfect eyes stared at me. It doesn't resemble the look of that day, except it does, but I don't want to say it does. I must not be tainted by this new flow. I avoid its gaze and slit its many ankles. The blood loss, stopped by cauterization, doesn't lead to his death. Instead, it slumps down and cowers, yet it never stops crawling, so it can reach me. Its cries echoes through the room, and then lumps of flesh writes senselessly. A warm, rough feeling travels down my fingertips. This time, too, the cries push me far, far into the past. On my first visit to the orphanage, I was still hesitant, and then one of the children suddenly came up to me and grabbed my hand.
Do we have somebody to voice that?
Oh, is that me?
Yeah,
This isn't Garnet, right?
Is this
I
Carol?
can't tell who's. I thought this was still somebody else's.
This is a
child?
kid. Yeah, it's
it's just a
100%.
kid.
That's child
I think it's Lapis, yeah?
Hold
Is
on.
this Lapis? Okay.
I think it's
Yeah.
Pretty sure it is.
Who the hell is. Who's who, man? God damn it.
Who's talking?
That's I don't know who's ever friggin' talking then. Well, mister, your hand is so rough.
A tiny palm touched the back of my hand without any hesitation. Although it was covered with blisters, the soft warmth that showered my hand was exceedingly warm. That was when I recognized how much I missed that warmth. I wanted to huddle together and dwell on that warmth all the time, even if I knew there was nothing more than deception and hypocrisy.
why?
I didn't need to open my mouth to reply, for Jamsoon already seemed to know the answer. Jamsoon backed away as if he didn't anticipate it.
Why? You already know the truth.
Did you want to ask me how could I stay so calm? I was under no obligation to answer, so I kept my mind silent.
This is not me.
No, this is Jump Soon.
Oh,
Oh no, this is
After-
Jump Soon.
Yeah, who's before me though?
Who's this? Is this Gubo?
That's also Jump Soon.
No, I think this still Jump Soon. And then
Yeah,
also
and
Jump
I-
Soon.
Yeah, Jump Soon, Asaya.
Why is he like so like? The tone is so different, no? Okay, I guess I can do it.
It's probably just the formatting, yeah.
This is rather nice, isn't it? The red gaze. It's because of that unexpectedness that you're so fun. Isaiah of the League of the Nine. Gather all rift generators around me. You must concentrate them all on me.
He shouted at us, his face contorted in a strange, eerie way.
will you be able to stand it?
If I can't bear it, will that even matter? Increase the refraction index to the same level as before. No! Turn it to the maximum.
Jump Soon yelled loudly, perhaps in a hurry, or maybe it was a cry of ecstasy.
In that case, the rift in the glass windows would reach an absurd reading.
If that kid was accepted, why couldn't I? And aren't you hoping for that deep inside to see what would happen to me?
It would be hard to deny.
Next to us, Alguba was also looking at Jump Soon with an intrigued face. It wasn't a kind of expression one would expect when faced with an enemy. They all looked the same. I took a step forward, feeling a strange discomfort. At that moment, I felt something shimmering and looked around the area to see all the reflectors attached to the top of the experiment tubes facing towards them soon. I couldn't see it, but I felt like something was shining intensely down on me. In that strange light, Jim soon looked like he was ushering in pure joy and happiness. His expression did not change even as a thick dot shell emerging from who knows where enveloped him. As I was bewildered, carelessly unable to move, another crying voice initiated his approach. The water in its apparent torso was making a sloshing sound. It seemed that the only course he could take was to sink into the mire, having given up on flowing. However, it seems to have difficulty controlling its sinking, spitting out the water in his lungs. The water comes out rushing into the floor as if sighing. I burned his mouth shut. Now it can't spill anything anymore. Damn sensation curls around my body. Memories of bygone days similar to before came flooding in, undulating like waves. I spent a lot of time alone. Being a fixer is akin to building a wall brick by brick, all the while trying to rise above it all on your own. In the end, when the day comes when you'll have no option but to become a pawn in somebody else's schemes, there will be no one willing to take your back. That's why you have to build a wall by yourself. For that reason, I often have to close my mouth, eyes, and ears. I saw no need to cast a personal gaze on a world where ill fates are overlooked. I didn't want to put my heart into something that could crumble at any moment. And so I sang. Perhaps the only thing that stopped me from drawing was Lapis sudden visit to the orphanage. When my mind regained its senses, Jim Soon's zig-like form began to wriggle and change into something else. The indigo eggshell twisted and swelled here and there, gradually taking on a human shape. The shell grew hard, shiny, white scales covered by numerous dots of the same color as the eggshell. Then a slimy, thick tail sprouted out of its lower back, completing the guise. My foot crushed the thing in front of me. Pouring out of, together with the water, was a hairband outfitted with a cherry fruit ornament. Suddenly, I felt something cold around my face and neck. Water droplets come forth, falling to the floor. They weren't intense, like the one dangled around Garnet's eyes. There was no sobbing, only a constant stream of light, rain.
The frick is this man?
The husk that had encased Jamsoon is hanging onto the machinery. An indigo blue shell. Jamsoon had broken out from within and now began to step forward, step by step.
I'm still so confused about this distortion. Like, what the hell is going on there?
Lizard.
It's dots, I guess. Ring.
The body was speckled with countless dots, and the eyes had glazed over, and the tongue that flickered around arrogantly, even his internal organs were covered with them. I don't think I've ever seen anything so strange.
My best guess is that it's a really bad allegory for the pointillism, because that's the kind of artistry is dots.
That's pointillism, yeah, clearly.
It's a gecko lizard. Yeah, it is a gecko lizard.
Who says what happened?
Good question.
Good question. Is it
What
Isaiah?
happened?
Is it
I think that's Virgil.
It's probably a
I think
Saya
that's
from the
Virgil.
League of Nine.
No, I think that's
Okay.
Virgil is pointing out that this is genuinely surprising him. So
Most
it wouldn't be
obvious
strange for him to question
PM
it.
light novel line.
I mean, let's just do it
What?
with Virgil, I guess.
What happened?
The universe conceived me once more.
A simple question clashes with an incomprehensible answer. Jemson walks. Beneath his steps, a black puddle forms in the shape of a dot. It wasn't like the spotting of ink nor the adhesion of paint, but as if the dot was engraved into the floor. As soon as one of the crying voices grazed one of the dots, it instantaneously burst open. Does the body explode and touches those dots? It was only but for a moment, but I believe it. I saw his body become covered by dots akin to someone with nettle rash. Either way, you'd probably be unable to finish a single word of warning if you touched them.
Furthermore, I proclaim that only I can expand the universe in pursuit of beauty.
Jamson's arm drew near me in a blink of an eye. Still, I reflexively thrust out a gladius and then attempted to lop it off. Surely, for Jamsoon, the struggle against me was his very first. However, he was already used to it. He seemed to have become acquainted with my method of attack quickly, even if he understood it beforehand. He moved as if he saw my attacks before firsthand. That's what a monk do. Goddamn.
He only has one mang. He's a bum. Is Jimson laughing? I think he is.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't think. Yeah, go.
I know it's not a bird laugh. You know it as a bird laugh.
It had been a few minutes filled with several skirmishes. I realized that the sensation was not just a coincidence. I chose to switching from slashing to piercing during our engagement. As I focused on aiming at his valor points, I split my dick at thanks to the use of Shin. Whoever jumps soon once again grabs the essence of my piercing attacks and immediately countered them.
34 times. That was the number of times I died when you pierced me here, in the archery.
Jameson said so as he pointed at his chest. There lay a big dot in the center. That was one of the areas I was focusing on. It was the most essential vital point, which leads to the death in the second one's hit.
46 times. That was the numbers of times I died when you pierced me here.
Jameson pointed at his neck.
And as soon as I tried to maintain distance between us, you would throw your sword with a ring of light right here.
Johnson pointed to a spot near his thigh. He listed every vital point in the order I prefer to aim them. If my attack against the heart is blocked, I'll go for the external carotid artery that passes through the throat. And if that is impossible, then I throw the slash to the large posterior tibial artery in their thigh. If all of these attacks are prevented, and I have no choice but continue close combat, I wait for an opportunity to hit a wrist's radial artery. Of course, I'm sure this is the first time I fought against this person. It is action words.
Do you see? All of these moments are displayed throughout my body. The use of several words have filled me with experience.
Johnson spoke in a composed voice as he swung his leg. The unexpected trajectory allowed for his leg to lightly scratch my left arm. Then the dots on Johnson's body stretched throughout my body. I had expected an explosion, but...
You there!
In my field of vision, Lapis was there. My back was bleeding before I knew it. There was a thin knife stuck in that Lapis must have stabbed me with just now. That kid always appeared unnoticed when I would deliver the present of Mary smile and candy in their mouth. All those times, she would always write something ridiculous on a piece of paper and stick it on my back. Now it had become a sharp weapon.
Why did you do that?
Lapis's question pierced through me. Deeper than that blade. The question was vague, but I understood its intent. I was the one who killed those children's parents and sent them to the orphanage. I sensed Lapis's surprise attack. There was no way I could have avoided it or fought against her, but I chose to ignore the tingling pain of the thin blade that stabbed me. But I couldn't ignore that.
You gave everyone presents. Sent money every month. Did you get any consolation from that?
No consolation was to be found. Maybe I was wishing for this day, instead of staring at my gifts in my hands, looking at your expecting eyes for a moment, and realizing you had put a piece of paper on my back. I wanted you to stab me in the very same spot with all the force you could muster. As I pointed at the corpse of your parents with the same blade that I took their lives, I wondered if the only way to heal that wound would be not by whistling a rolling candy around your mouth, as you would always done, but to the edge of a pale, thin blade. I
think that's Garnet.
Yeah, it's Garnet.
Ada, you good the voice?
Okay, sorry. I was doing something.
Right here.
Mister.
Before I knew it, I was in my office. It had become a hellscape, as if attempting to show that the fierce battle had taken place here. Not a single desk or drawer was where they were meant to be. Lanyan was lying in a strange position, his entire body covered with a dozen wounds as if he had been slashed to pieces. Garnet lay beside him as well. Those were the consequences of my judgment. We should have stayed together no matter what. I could hear Garnet saying, I want to be part of your strategy.
Mister. Yen protected me.
I examined the depth of the wound Garnet had sustained. Their professional skill. It was a chopping wound appropriating for leaving someone near death. The intention wasn't instant death, but probably a message to me. Considering their ability, this was a warning. To watch as Garnet shortly breathed his last, it reminded me of someone who was begging for their life. I was unable to do anything back then. The present me can, but I no longer know what to do. Everything had become a lump of guilt. Nevertheless, those weren't the only sins I bore. Every step I took, every gesture I made, and every look I gave brought misfortune to someone else. But I'm not so superficial that I could die from this forced guilt. I threw a strong punched his cheek, causing the dark colored dot in my hand to spread wildly before suddenly stopping. I see. Garnet did come here with me. Sure enough, there was only a false image created by the dots, but it was so vivid as if I had actually experienced it.
What about this? Drawing in a universe linked by dots. You funny one to die, don't you?
You went through various worlds like this to fight me. Large and small dots tingled with the dark indigo color. When I looked at these, they seemed to be those faraway worlds themselves. Those dots covering Jumpsuit's body must have served this purpose as well. You.
That's it. All those very dots coming together as ecstasy.
You wanted to say something more, but no more words came out. The vision projected in front of his eyes. The words one after another. It changed. The world of infinite possibilities. Someday, somewhere, uniformly, they all stabbed me with something sharp. The time that seemed to be an eternity, in a moment, passed. My vision was eventually embraced by complete darkness. And then,
There.
from somewhere, a voice began to speak to me as if in a trance. An awfully warm voice. A voice that made me want to become completely buried in it for all time. It spoke to me.
It's nice to talk to you again.
They talked before?
Holy shit, her
I wonder
lines
how
are...
it happened.
It's purely you two. And holy crap, we actually know when it's Carmen talking.
Hell yeah.
This shit is gonna go so fast. This
Oh
shit
my
is gonna go so fast.
gosh. It's a Festivus miracle. Alright.
I'm gonna make your ass distort, buddy.
This is a Christmas miracle.
Oh no. Never mind.
Oh.
Oh no.
Never mind. Never mind. Never mind.
It was just for that one chapter I had to fuck with you. This is how I distort you. I had to fuck with you a little bit.
God damn
This is how common
This
distort
is the will of the distortion.
We've become a distortion just known as who's talking.
Stop it.
I'll figure it out. I got it. I'll figure it out.
The first trial.
Silence. Haven't felt such utter stillness in quite a long time. In its midst, the voice of the one who proclaims itself master of this place is clearly heard. It shimmered as if smothered in light. Who are you? Only after I forced those words out, I realized that it was a pointless question. There was no one left in the city who called me Fur anymore. I suddenly remembered that when I last heard such a moniker, my eyes were not as they were now. I wonder, then, if the world, as my eyes captured it back then, was greener than it is now.
Who I am isn't very important, Ver. Let's just have a little talk.
All that spreads before me is a warm and comforting light. It's as if the light and color that was boundlessly scattered throughout the city came to life, evoking an imprudent illusion that all fault is being washed away just by being here. Then a visage invariably came to mind, one of salvation, which I vividly felt should be embraced carelessly.
As such, we are each other's guests. Just as I have something I want to ask you, you have something you want to ask me.
While I was on the city's surface, I held numerous unanswered questions. Questions no one could answer or simply wouldn't acknowledge. Therefore, I decided to reply to his voice.
Your heart looks to be aching. The children you couldn't save are swirling around in your head, aren't they?
Flying was unnecessary, it seems.
They were quite the innocent children.
There was no sentimentality in that sentence, neither pity nor regret. Perhaps this being knows what happened to transform those children. The children that underwent that experiment.
It's too late. The way back is gone. That clear ignorance of the world made the children rather burdensome.
A merry voice mercilessly strikes down my question. To tell the truth, I had a vague estimate of the fact. That's not to say I didn't hope to be wrong.
I think I heard your heart break.
My heart made no such sound. However, only after a voice said it so I didn't notice I was quietly cracking apart.
But to have become like this, the children didn't deserve this.
Then the warm yet unfeeling voice clasped me as if in a hug.
But you know, Ver, everything that's happened so far isn't your fault.
Leading syllables rang out akin to the singing of a song, sounding like a consolation whose sole intent was to absolve me of sin. If I were to listen a little longer, I felt I would surrender myself to this pleasant voice despite my will. No, that isn't something someone can freely measure. Wait. Was it you?
I have no fucking clue.
I really have no idea.
I legit, like, for this one, I'm not even sure if there's a hint who said that one. Fuck it, I'll read it just because. No, that isn't something someone can freely measure.
As its words revealed themselves one by one, they were always tightly intertwined. By the time I came to my senses, I was grasping a great lump of guilt in my hands, nothing discernible within. So I held a part of the city in me as well.
Ver, consider this. The orphanage's children have turned into something that is no longer themselves, and even the young fixer who wished to help you has entered into a cocoon. The situation may look grave, but compared to everything you've done, it's really just a minor incident. And yet, why does it hurt you more than anything?
The voice saw through my facade. It viewed the life I was living, never properly opening up to anyone. It observed all the roads I followed, even from the times when my pupils held no blood. It began to recall all those paths. The people wailing, begging for salvation, some buried before even being able to scream, the collapsing buildings and all the lives whose blood was shed. However, as a matter of fact, there existed a warm expanse of light, the complete opposite of everything that came to be. It was surely the light I created for myself, where they waited for me, where the voices of delight and excitement were heard instead of wailing and yelling.
I see. The orphanage was your hope.
The voice found its answer.
You have always considered this city to be wounded, but the stains on your hands won't be washed away, and you'll continue to be the one to keep the blood flowing through the city from drying out.
Yes, the foul-smelling wounds of the city run deep, for they have been festering for a long while.
I knew how to cure this city, but the road to achieving that goal was so cruel that we would have to spill more blood than was already spilled. You, awkward and kind as you are, have buried that road deep within your heart.
But there exists a method to make this road much gentler.
So you found it.
Without having to dirty my hands yet.
Children who may be able to change the city in your place. Oh wait, is this
No, I think that's Carmen.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
Carmen.
Children who may be able to change the city in your place.
The orphanage was my very own limbo, my place of redemption, despite never having informed of my sins. By stirring up a virtuous attitude within me to the same heights, my frozen heart melted like snow.
Sprinkling water and fertilizer in your spare time, making sure the sunlight properly comes in and there are no insects to bite them.
The voice spoke as if it were doing so itself.
You looked after them. You, who had lived your life following only strong flows, had your eyes only on the potential of what was a feeble flow at best.
Yes, as you say, I wanted to plant I wanted to plant seeds that, even if football had potential. They were hidden in a remote corner where not a ray of sunshine reached. However, just because something isn't seen does not mean it's incomplete. Thus I looked after them, like growing a tree. I wanted them to live on my behalf. If I could get them to live with the heart I can have, I was sure even the faintest flaw would go into the sturdiest. However, did I really think the orphanage could change the city?
No. There, you knew it couldn't. The children are just pieces of paper to wipe off the blood from your hands, indulgences you yourself printed. But now they have all been ripped apart.
Its tone changed what I believe was meant to be sympathetic, but it simultaneously became foreboding as well.
Because of that, your countless sins flooded in. And so, your heart was bound to crack. However, thanks to that, we were able to meet and talk like this.
Since when did I begin to experience that feeling called guilt? Since when did I lose the place where I couldn't let my head down? No longer do I have the strength to move. Only now do I realize that this life of playing house may have been my final struggle to protect my soul, to stop the guilt from consuming me, because I know that the place I'm bound for will be too much for me.
But, let me tell you something, Ver. This is the place where you can speak your mind freely. So, can you let me hear it all?
My heart has cracked, and so from that little crack, the voice saw everything. Even the blade that was hidden inside me for so long never stopped sharpening. That blade, burrowing deep in my heart, was revealed for the first time through the crack, both to me through the voice. We both knew what it was.
What you really wanted. It wasn't just playing house at the orphanage. All you want is... You did everything for...
Catherine?
Yeah.
That's fucking... I don't even... That might be too many bars for Catherine, but the thought of that is funny as shit to me. This is why he intervened in Canto 6.
Somehow Catherine appears before Olympus.
Oops, all Catherine.
Indeed, I Catherined all over again.
Indeed, all over again.
It's Catherineing time.
No matter how much blood is shed to push through it, it won't be enough to reach the city's wounds, hidden in the most secluded of places. I, who try to pierce into the wounded core of the city, should know this far the best.
Such was your ambition. But as you continued to atone for nothing in your visits to the orphanage, it was gradually buried, to the point that not even a trace of it remains.
No, even if it became buried, it never lost its luster. The poignant wished could still cut down all of at a moment's notice. However, whenever such thoughts surfaced, I'd merely press them back to the recesses of my mind.
But burying it is just as painful. That wish is too sharp. It leaves injuries that deny your heart the time to heal.
The voice recited agony as if it had been hurt itself.
It must have been so difficult, lonesome, suffocating to have such a lofty dream. But you don't have to hide it anymore, because everyone can create by themselves a world they consider right.
World for myself. What are you talking about?
A world only for your eyes to see. Exactly that. I'm helping everyone paint their own colors on the city.
Everybody's own world. However, each person's color is different. They could never be nicely painted together. If such a method existed, I would have done it before anybody else.
Indeed, as you said, the colors blend together in the light. Therefore, one must devote all of themselves to painting and protecting one's color, even if a laborious ordeal comes their way. Nevertheless, it must be Nevertheless, they must readily fight and overcome it to secure their place, even if they must fight the entire world.
I wanted to break the shell of the city, fight and stamp out to everything that interfered with my path, tear it all down and eventually create a new world. What do you mean by ordeal? If there is such a way, if it's just... then I'd like to follow it.
For instance, what that child is undergoing, or what those children experienced in the laboratory before their alteration. When you become aware of this unbearable world, you'll burrow inside the egg of you. Oh fuck! You'll burrow into the inside of your egg to separate and establish your.
Kathy.
I recall Garnet, who had become a red jewel. What happens once you enter that egg?
Well, you can break out of the egg, or you can be seized by sin and be eaten into nothing but residues.
The voice innocently spoke.
No one can know the outcome. You'll have to set from within the egg to emergent from it. If you're unable to endure the process, what will burst out will be your sin-eaten remains.
Is that different from distorting?
Jumsoon is certainly a distortion, as the world calls it. But the children of the laboratory have only become a reflection of their sins.
A reflection of sin. The cries of the things that crawl along the floor ring inside my head. However, isn't that strange, since when did it become like that? I thought distorting referred to the phenomenon of people revealing their colors by transforming into a reflection of their egos. The distortion phenomenon emerged after their lives spread through the city. There are aberrant beings that make the city bleed, when even those who gather blood, the voice begins to speak in an abnormally positive manner.
You think so too? But aren't they twisted, broken, perverse figures?
It's certainly not a normal form to take.
Normal. To them they are normal, while the world is the abnormal one. But more importantly, they have come to cherish themselves and see the world through their own eyes.
The voice spoke in a dreamlike melody. However, it was dreamlike to such an extent that even the words seemed like a dream.
It is to become a self unbound by the eyes and standards of the city. However, the resulting form changes depending on the way it was revealed. Thanks to my junior, who has a different idea than me, joining the light.
The word junior being insignificantly introduced in this regard bothered me. It was spoken with delight and calm tone, but I feel as if it was involved in every cause and effect. How do you know all of this? Unwelcome premonitions begin to gather as one. Are you the one responsible for this phenomenon?
Correct, but I'm also a friend that wishes to help you make your color bloom.
It must be really important for you to make colors bloom in people.
Ver, do you know where you're heading now?
I can't reply. It's been a long time since I turned my eyes away from my destination, vacantly standing still. It's been a long time since I hit my gaze.
Have been curious about that for quite a while. Where is everyone going? It's clear that they're repeatedly trying to go somewhere, at least. But what kind of place could cause the emergence of such ambition again and again?
As long as time flows, people try to go anywhere they want to. It's a matter of course.
These are only my thoughts, but I think people are seeking love.
Love? The word I'm unaccustomed to bother me.
Love is thought to be the emotion of valuing another above all else, but I think every act done with the thought of loving another is nothing but part of the process of loving oneself.
Are you trying to spark a debate regarding that? No, you just have to listen, the voice said, as if lightly tossing the words, then continued its monologue.
Because, in the end, The only person in the world who can completely see and understand who they are is themselves. They cannot truly comprehend or love a person who isn't themselves. As such, loving oneself is the only true final destination.
If what you say is true, are you saying we shouldn't look at anything other than ourselves?
You asked the same question as my junior. We must struggle, but as human beings, we should use reason, not emotion.
The voice adjusted itself.
So, he said, we had to fight in the most human way possible, through clothing and tools, while holding the human form in high regard. But that only pollutes the results. You don't need moderation when revealing yourself. After all, if you go through something without properly reaching its conclusion and keep going in such a roundabout way, your wish will become diluted and be forgotten all over again.
Like with the present-day people of the city?
Exactly. Moreover, if the tools made from my heart are broken, wouldn't my heart break in turn? That is to say, we should express our love solely with our own bodies. Your whole body and your heart collide with each other, and you come to love yourself.
So I should disregard everything that isn't me.
That's right.
Have you always been this way, driving those trying to reawaken down another path?
I simply ask questions others have never given thought to, and usually we understand each other. I support and lend them strength, so they can continue on their new path.
A friendly yet ruthless pressure. Don't look at anything but yourself and be buried in self-love. If this will give me the power to do so. The back of my neck grew warm. Has anyone ever presented such a pleasant solution up to now? In this city where individuals are insignificant, I'm allowed to look only at me and ignore everything else? It was so radiant that I wanted to close my eyes, even in the present state. However, as you'd say, I'm sure I'd be satisfied if I accepted. I'd feel fulfilled and content. It'd be a satisfaction that I've never experienced before. But it'd be nothing more than a momentary pleasure. Even if you try to pray in the word to the brim, like a distortion filled with dots, for immediate gratification, you'd never be able to paint it all with such a method. It would be a thirst that could never be satisfied. Then, wouldn't distorting only prevent you from looking an inch ahead of yourself?
It could be. Still, that interpretation is your color and idea, is it not? As for me, I have my own color, and others have their own color as well. I simply inform them of one more path.
How cowardly.
Doesn't imposing the standards of right or wrong and judging me make you the same as one of the many city dwellers you thought wounded?
Now my eyes have been opened. Obviously, there was something to be gained from the conversation with the voice. The blade that was once hidden in my heart was revealed, and I rediscovered where it was pointing and what I needed to confront. But that path can only be followed when all the beauty and ugliness of the world is held in my gaze, even if it weighs down on my surroundings. There is no point in continuing this conversation.
Was my proposal not to your liking?
The voice seemed to be quite disappointed. You appear to be the cause behind all the distortions. I have no real way of knowing who you are, however. What do you people hope to achieve with all this whispering and background manipulation?
As I told you, I believe everyone should fight the world in order to paint their own colors. And I'm a person too. Shouldn't I... If someone is unable to be who they truly are, even after I lend them the power to do so, to paint the world with the colors...
That's a lot of Catherines.
Hold on.
Oh. Shouldn't I Catherine my Catherine the Catherine?
He's Catherine it up right now.
When I heard it answered, I closed my eyes. Is this me?
Carmen, right?
I think I broke V.
So, once all is said and done,
Catherine.
in the flow of Catherine and Catherine, in all Catherine, Catherine will be Catherine.
Leviathan is just retroactively censored after Kathy was erased and can't just.
I have a sound on my soundboard. I'm not sure if it'll pop up. I think I could probably use it for this.
Yeah, that came up.
Okay.
Yeah, that's much better.
I'll use that real quick just over this. So once all is said and done, in the flow of and in all will be
Perfect. Perfection.
Whoa, language, dude.
That's Carmen.
Good
Dude, not
swearing.
me. That wasn't me. That was Carmen.
Why would Carmen make you swear?
Why would Carmen say that, bro? Like, that wasn't me. That was Carmen.
An unprovoked smile emerged from on my lips. I was laughing. Our world where you, as if a starving beast, must struggle against everything in your endless thirst to build your own world. If I went down the path the voice told me, it would surely be pleasurable, but it won't get me to where I want to go. Thus, I have only one way to go. To tread with all the pain and thirst I've experienced up until now and will suffer through again in the future, because only I can do it. It seems you're going to take opposite paths.
Yes. Then go your own way. It too must be the color of the person you are.
And so I wear a crown of thorns upon my head, so that I may shoulder everything until my future victory. Laided laurels, Yanni's leaves sprout to cover all the thorns on my head, and the tears of blood flow from my eyes, so I may see all the sins I have to bear from now on. And the thorny path I shall travel is a curtain of blood containing my karma, a crimson cloth that covers my whole being. I'm dragged down into a pit. Within are many cries, everybody's agony surging together. The pit is profound and dark, making it difficult to look ahead, but I will take hold of it in triumph. As I engrave everything in these eyes, hence I will present to the world the longed for paradise I promised an old friend. I will fall into a hell of my karma and rest there alone. Whoa.
Bruh.
Whoa.
Bruh.
I never noticed
Catherine.
this before, but like, does he have like a shoulder pad in his ego?
I think so.
Translated by.
That's my last chapter.
Yep, 2 more chapters.
The cloak of blood I wrapped around myself began to settle. My wandering is over. The way forward is clear, and all that remains is to tread it. I shall spill blood and, at times, drink it, but I will never stop this moment. However, before I can do so, I must cut down the distorted mass before me, the first of the blood that I truly must spill, and at the same time, I lop off the head of my own cowardice, which I have been turning a blind eye to for all this time.
You know, Ver, I'll tell you one more thing before we part. I might know a way to get you closer to achieving your dream.
Recall the voice again. If one were to think rationally, there is no basis for believing everything the voice said. However, I feel confident that that being would not lie. It's something different from reason and logic. This was what my soul felt. It's strange, assuming there even is such a thing as a soul. It flows my soul points to is right to it. If the flow my soul points to is right, if the method the voice spoke of exists, then I can say that the time I've long waited for has finally arrived. If fate truly does exist, and if everything is predetermined to follow it, then surely this moment has been waiting for me. And I, too, must have been waiting for this moment to come. When my thoughts reached this point, I felt a slightly nauseating bliss. The idea that there may be in this the idea that there may be something in this world that can grant my wishes like magic. That previously non-existent notion enveloped my heart. Fate has never been pleasant to me, thus I never believed in it. However, I killed many things while expressing my heart. It appears that I felt a relief from the story that everything I had done that stained my hands with blood was to do my fate. It's as if my wish, brought through by fate, guided me here. All the misfortunes I've faced up until now form the foundations of this very moment.
That's Jumsoon.
1 second, can I... This can't be! I never recorded this event with my doubts.
The restored Jumsoon mumbled his apparent disbelief under his breath. Yes, you may have drawn a great many worlds, but it was only enough to fill a canvas, and no matter what, humans cannot contain infinity in a canvas. As such, there had to be a limit to your dots.
No. You died by my hands for the upteenth time. After killing you and killing you again, I was sure I would wake up. And yet, it was just a repeat. Besides, there's no such thing as absolute. That's why I can advance into the future.
I think that was me.
No.
But oh well.
Is it you?
I mean,
do we even know, bruh?
I don't know.
Usually, if someone were still talking,
it's me. Yeah,
if someone were still talking, it'd probably just be in the same paragraph.
Okay.
Okay.
Sometimes you can't
It
stop
was
it, though.
just a repeat. Besides, there's no such thing as absolute. That's why I can advance into the future. I hope that absoluteness did not exist, but that is why I can hope. But that is why hope can be cruel as well. Because as long as something is possible, expectations will arise. Because we don't know. Because they might not be empty. Suddenly, a doubt arose. The voice was curious about what kind of world I wanted to create. If distorting is by nature, a phenomenon brought about by that voice, it must have talked to Jumsoon and asked that same question. It would have whispered sweet words filled with sincerity and gentleness, telling him only to look at himself, and that would lend him strength. What is it that you hope to achieve?
Naturally, I want to fill the world with dots.
I see.
And you? What world are you trying to reach?
Jumsoon's pupils, covered with dots, glimmered. His countless pupils expanded to the fullest, as if waiting to sear the world I desired. It's hard to put into words. The world I want. It's a world that can only be understood once you feel it with your whole body. Jumsoon's mouth widened a huge line. What a grotesque smile. Simultaneously, he began to rush me down with his dark blue fists. I didn't avoid the punches Jumsoon threw, but instead received them with my whole body. Every time I touched a spot tinged with a dot, I'm forced to face and sink into despair. After being dragged down deep into this quagmire, I once again see all the possible despair I could have encountered. However, now that I have forged my resolve, all that despair that unfolded before me began to reflect a tenacious hope. As such, I can cut it down without hesitation. All that obstructs me whenever I'm thrown to this world of dots. Within are Lapis, Garnet, Rikako, Lanyan, Denver, Simnancio, the children of the orphanage, and many other faces I cannot meet anymore.
Are you sure you want to meet Nansul?
Everything I cut down shed his blood. The dot that had become nothing more than a quagmire was dyed red into a bottle of blood. I rose, holding that redness.
How? How can you stand upright amidst these dots?
Jumpsuns goggles his numerous pupils, seeming unable to comprehend the situation. Although the painting, abundantly stamped to dots, may look full from a distance, blank spaces are just as abundant when looking closely. Similarly, the mind cannot be wholly filled with dots. Your dots may brush against me, but they cannot stain me. As soon as I finished speaking, Jumpsuit gathered all his strength and struck the ground. Dots permeated the floor in a uniform pattern as if a burst of ink paint, before rushing towards me at furious speeds. However, the fast-moving dots never collected. As such, they can even form lines. This might have been because surfaces don't exist in the world he's trying to create. The blank space in between the dots is an infinity left empty, a scope left unchosen. I begin to link the excluded gaps to the blood I continuously shed. Each dot meets to form a line, and the line flows to create a surface, and once the space is filled, I'll be able to envision my desire. As if by instinct, I curl the blood surface around itself like a flag to create a long, flowing line akin to a spear. A red spear made by neatly weaving dots one after another. I throw this line to Jamsun's chest with boundless indifference. In order to catch the spear, Jamsun swung his fist, unfolding a curtain made of countless dots. But there were too many leaking holes in that incomplete chain. The red line I created, both a surface and a red dot when seen from the front, penetrated through the curtain made of several blue dots, thus piercing Jamsun's right arm and shoulder.
Wow.
Why is it like...
Damn! Tumang!
Can I rotate?
Tumang!
Damn, who
Tumang
changed
just
like
switched blood at him.
from landscape to portrait?
Holy shit. What's going on here?
I don't think I can rotate it.
Get rotated, idiot.
It reached completion with only a single dot.
I think that cough was real.
The moment the dots became aligned, the beauty that enchanted you faded away, did it not? Humans have no choice but to walk along the lines and live up surfaces. For those who advance, a dot is merely fleeting. Dots are just moments. Perhaps as time passed and the many moments of despair that came my way accumulated one by one, the instants that were made dots formed the line, opening a path of possibility. Jamsun, with his obsession within the moment, was fascinated by the simulation an instant could cause. He couldn't break free from the moments that gave him the ecstasy of soaring without limits, or the hopelessness of free falling without knowing when he'll hit the floor. Now that he knows the contradiction of the dot, he'll be dragged down towards the endless abyss, like the branches of a tree that had dug its roots up. According to the voice, restoring is the form of rebirth and a new appearance by fully embracing the craving. The value they consider to be the answer becomes the raison d'etre. Raison d'etre! To whip out my French. and their form changes the shape they wished for. If the very desire that encompassed the foundation collapsed, what would happen to the things that encompassed it? If it can't exist, it would only be right for them to melt down. Jamsun stays silent. All his movements came to a standstill. Is he entering the egg once again? However, the world isn't so kind and convenient as to give someone so many chances. Like the people or the city, it may seem unfriendly on the outside, but is unspeakably cold on the inside. Jamsun keeps staring at me. No expression was discernible from the face where the gaze originated. Then a liquid began to burst out from Jamsun's stomach. A machine arm wielding a saw blade divided Jamsun's chest in half. Something stirred from within him. It wasn't a cocoon, an egg, or anything similar, but a completely alien form that had no point of contact with the series of dots that was the life of Jamsun. The thing, which had begun to vigorously cleave and stretch Jamsun's flesh, made itself born by dragging its huge size, too great to fit inside his body, outward. It appears to be an iron strongbox with saw blades attached to it, but also looked like a bizarre sculpture with several arms resembling bug legs emerging from it. And at the center of it all, a gaze emanating from a single eye. Our eyes meet, yet I'm not looking at it.
I think it would be best to clarify that Jamsun did not become Schadenfreude. Jamsun either pulled Schadenfreude out of the light or pulled Schadenfreude from another mirror world.
Does pulling it from another mirror world imply there are now two Schadenfreudes?
Yeah, so I would prefer the interpretation that Jamsun pulled Schadenfreude out of the light or something.
Either way,
So
we're fucking. We need to get away from bro right now.
Pull in abnormality.
We need to get away from bro right now before he peeks out the page and kills us, bro. Looking at him is a bad thing. We gotta go.
Well, I mean, every abnormality
it's easy
is
for
unique.
Void. He just doesn't have to look. He's just level 1 nugget father, Schadenfreude.
Yeah, like, every abnormality is unique, so Jamsun couldn't have become a second Schadenfreude.
It's picking at me. The pupil in that half closed off space is stealthily and at the same time persistently peeping at me. Immediately, a pair of saw blades furiously spun and tried to cut me down, with enough force to grind even the air. By reflex, I managed to block the saw blade with my sword. Perhaps it isn't correct to say I managed to block it. It was unmanageable, so heavy that it's hard to accurately present it in words. The saw blade spun and came face to face with mine, and blood began to splatter in all directions from the blood-twinned red sword. If the situation persists, the sword itself would be cleaved apart. That by itself isn't an issue. I can make a new sword from blood, but that would be necessitate new blood to be shed to maintain the blade. I'd like to avoid that. As such, I wrap my body in my red cloak, becoming one giant drop of blood. The saw grinds even this, causing countless blood spurts to calmly drench the floor like a fountain. The fallen blood soon pulls together, forming a puddle, and I become one with the blood, hiding my body within. He's an inkling? Oh my god, Splatoon! Until all the blood on the floor dries up, I'll be able to reappear anytime I want. No, to be more accurate, I had a feeling I could do so. This earns me just a little breathing room. Before the blood coagulates, I have to finish assessing the situation. The eye was still looking at me. It was something different from there. There was a vicious greed to it. It was craving after me with its eyes. While I was in the puddle, it changed its target and began tearing the things crawling in the lab to pieces. Even if they were only incapacitated, my efforts to save them had already been torn to shreds. Hold on a second, I think my mom is calling me.
Oh, Virgilius left. His mom is calling him.
He did that in the exact same voice. So
Virgil let his mom called him.
Do we have any proof that Carmen is not Virgilius's mom?
Oh, V, you gotta start voicing Virgilius's mom. It's now Carmen.
In the middle of the fight with Schadenfreude, he's just... hold on, Brad back, my mom's calling.
Oh,
I mean, that might be perfect counterplay. I mean, that might be perfect counterplay. He's not looking at him.
It is perfect counterplay. There's no observation.
Why didn't Vert just call his mom? Is he stupid?
Eventually, after slaughtering everything that moved before its eye, it turned its gaze straight to the next target, the three people standing behind one of the laboratory's shattered windows. Gubo, the researcher named Aseach, and Nansul. As if satisfied with his observation, Gubo nodded to Aseach, who opened the lab's back door. The corridor was slightly visible to the slightly ajar door. Could Asa already maneuver through the corridor? If so, he could have escaped from here at any moment. He must have had many reasons not to fly away, even though he knew how to open this cage. Leaving behind Nansil, who was shouting in confusion, the two entered the corridor and promptly closed the door. Now, Nansil was alone. The many-legged box dashed towards him, spitting a saw blade. Nansil will now understand the meaning of this situation. The only tool he has at his disposal is a somewhat thin knife, made for extracting moonstones. A traitor's blade, adequate for gouging those who, without murdering intent, but not fit for standing up to those who have. Nansil knows he will die here without being able to put up a fight. And he vaguely knows I will try to save him from this situation. The saw blade wielding box, together with a cacophonous metallic sound, closes in on Nansil until only one step remains, and that is when I emerge from the blood puddle, exposing my form. I swing my bloody sword, spraying blood droplets into the blocks. Once dispersed, the embedded drops soon condense into sharp blades that cut it apart. However, although the blood embedded itself in the box, it remained uncut, as if denying the violence born from blood. The blood daggers stick to the iron box without being able to pierce it. But that was enough to direct the box's attention to me. Its body turns around, and once our gaze meet, I ask Nansul who was behind it. What were your reasons for doing this? His reasons don't matter at this point, but I just want to hear them from Nansul's mouth. I wondered what he had to gain from turning his back on me and the office.
Boss.
Why did you do it? Resignation was visible in Nansul's face. We both knew that we only have a few moments before we attract the box's gaze, and a situation can resolve at any time. Can reverse at any time.
You can survive anything, you know, but I can't. Unlike the ring, you wouldn't seek revenge that doesn't benefit your plan in the pursuit of a singularity. However, I don't have the self-confidence to let myself be hunted down by the ring for the rest of my life. Was I the only one? I'm sure the others felt the same.
So you thought that I would let you live?
No, I didn't. But narrate first.
Saying so, Nansul showed me a weak smile, appearing to be a little exhausted.
But my family will. You'd kill me, a traitor, but would never touch my family. The ring wouldn't mind doing something like that. Still, at least it was in the middle.
I closed my eyes. Nansu's words carried a heavy weight. I'd wandered aimlessly along the world, relying on the road, relying on the orphanage. However, I couldn't even protect that, nor I could properly arrange the children. So I can only wonder how uncertain and risky I must have seemed through my subordinate's eyes. Not only that, but to what extent was I able to protect someone I didn't know? In the end, I, who couldn't do anything right, was the one who pushed Nansu into that choice. I failed to consider Nansu's position, and Nansu also didn't try to comprehend mine. In this world, moments of disconnect like these will inevitably occur. We thought we knew each other, but despite our overconfidence in our five senses, we couldn't truly understand each other.
If I were to die, then I hope to bring you down with me. But, after all, my wish for death was a desire beyond my reach, too.
I think this was me. I'm not certain.
Was it?
I don't know. Let's just move on.
Yeah.
I
don't know. It feels weird for Virgilius to say.
Okay, yeah. I shut my eyes, and during the fleeting moment it took to recollect thoughts and emotions drenching on my mind, the box suddenly spun around and minced Nansu's body.
To shreds, you say?
Fine with mist? Sorry. The immediate slaughter. Yo. No way.
What the fuck? The timing on
no
that.
way.
For what I
Hey, yo, what
looking
was
at,
that?
The timing on that.
No way, it's the... Right. That immediate slaughter occurred before I was able to do anything. That thing couldn't think, only hunger. I once again hid myself in a puddle of blood. Inside the lot, I abandoned such sentiment. I abandoned such sentimental. Oh my god. Such sentiments as sorrow and grief that I could candidly express to Nansu. No matter whose death unfolds before me, I have resolved to walk down this path. I didn't obtain enough information from the short clash I had with it. However, I instinctively knew that thing was a new existence, wholly estranged from the sequence of thoughts that was the life of the human being called Jamsun. Something like a distortion, yet different. Or maybe... It's a very weak guess, but I have no time to leisurely solve that thing's origin. The air here is cold and dry, making spilled blood harden quickly. If all the blood dries up, I won't be able to reveal my body, and I will be trapped on the floor as I am now. The gaze persistently followed me as I shifted my position within the blood. Its pupil steadily chased me as if I knew for certain where I was inside the puddle. I don't have much blood left now in this familiar yet new weapon and armor. I felt like I'd be unable to use this ability anymore if I ran out of blood. And if that were to happen, I'd die vomiting out all my blood. These tools can only be used again if I fill them with someone else's blood. Thus, I have to analyze my judgment before the blood dries up. As the thing emerged from the distortion, it cannot have a completely different nature from them. Therefore, its existence as a being assumed by that and that behaves according to its desire has, in the end, remained unchanged. That, from the beginning, may have been yet another facet of the distortion. However, I still have no solid information about any of this, only vague guesses. I have no other choice than to amass what little information I have and grope my way forward. It should have been a strenuous task to locate my position with the blood in a general sense, but even in the puddle, that thing maintains eye contact with me. Also, during the brief moment I closed my eyes, the box moved from behind me to kill Nansuel. As such, what that eye longs for is another's gaze.
Bro is actually struggling with Schadenfreude.
You could say Schadenfreude is the gaze betting.
Is the gaze.
Oh, this one's longer.
Insert
Okay.
view,
Well,
the
last
gaze
chapter. Ooh, we need to replace Sunny. Who's taking Lanyan?
I mean, I can do it.
I mean,
we can do it too, actually. Yeah, we
You
can.
have a major headache.
you
don't
said you
D7?
first. Hang on.
No, bro, I'm tired, bro. I'm legit.
Yeah, no, I don't want to push D7. He's got a bad
That's
headache.
fair. I can take it then. That's
Alright.
fair.
Alright.
I forget how Sunny used to voice, bro.
It does not matter. I did not remember how whoever had Nansel previously voiced him. I just voiced my idea of him.
I think that was me.
Yeah, that was you're talkative right now.
Water break. Good
Oh
old
yeah, I forgot
hydration.
to send out a reminder for y'all to have water. My bad. Or like liquid.
I always have one.
Don't worry, my parents brought me tea.
I came pre-prepared with water.
Yeah, because you do a lot of voicing like this, you really need it.
Yeah. I close my eyes. To look at someone is to capture them in your eye. It is to insert them into your awareness to the window called the eye. The glass window of this window is so clear. The glass window of this window, goddamn, is so clear in appearance that it seems to allow no distortion. But in truth, it creates a bias sight, which is taken to heart above everything else. That is to say, even though I look at it, I must not insert it into my gaze. If one wills it, one's wish will always lay in their gaze. But as wishes are always far away, we must always maintain distance as well. As such, Mang. I saw it. I decided to no longer care about what it was. Even if it killed what was once children, even if its original form was the man who made Garnet enter his cocoon, I would not put any emotion into my strike. I would remove it just like I would a block of stone, a hurdle placed along my path. I still had my eyes closed, so by my series of deductions, it should have stayed still because it had only moved if I had looked at it. However, it didn't. It had moved somewhere else. Is there still something in this place that could hold the thing in his eyes? There should be no surviving people here, so there shouldn't be any gazes. I heard a distorted noise of saw blades in the sun, and the sound of something solid, like a jewel shattering into tiny pieces. Yes, the jewel Garnet was cocooned in. Clink. I heard the sound of what that voice had called an egg being broken apart. The sound of that huge crystal cracking and shattering were over in an instant. After that, did it stop moving, and the silence once again began, descended upon the laboratory. Garnet had been watching everything. In that opaque and solitary space, he watched the outside, always in a struggle to hatch. I slowly walked towards it, my eyes shut. I felt the shaking of muscles in my closed eyes, and sword-gripping hand. I took some steps, neither few nor many, until I felt I was standing right in front of it. Until a while ago, I believe I could cut that thing down without emotion. If I were to attack with my blood-drenched weapon like that, I would be able to cut it as if only empty were was there. However, I adamantly wanted to see its form struggling in pain, and so I chose to capture it with my gaze. I opened my eyes. Soon after, I saw its machinery activated, its open pupil from the gap in the box. Immediately, a mechanical arm bearing a saw blade flew in, Something blunt was near to catch it. For that sake, I strained my heart to coil the monk. The blood cloak, worn with resentment, was far sturdier than before. But the indiscriminate gyration of the saw blade forced the blood to shred and burst. But I must bear it. I allowed what little blood I had left to gush out to endure this brutality. I put my hands on the cold metal box and looked at it straight in the eye, hidden deep within. What are you looking for that makes you so pleased? And before my blood could run out and fall apart, Dumang, thirst. Dumang spurred my thirst for blood I was about to spill, so I jammed my blade deep into the box. The gaze, the people, the destiny that had until now merely observed the suffering of my life. As if cursing everything in this world, I poured out the strength, all the strength I could muster, into it. The blade of blood embedded into its eye took on a sporadically pointed shape akin to a mass of thorns. The form was not of a sword meant to kill, but a tool that purely inflicted pain. As if something broke in my head, I ceaselessly thrust the stick-like thorn sword into its eye socket. I couldn't protect anything, and I may never be able to. That eye peered as if it could see my whole life, from past to present. Drearily yet insistently. It was as if I, who even let Garnet die, the one who I could have saved, could only see my own impatience and everything beyond that pupil. The box, as if trying to release itself from the agony, shook violently and, at the same time, fiercely pulled down its saw blade in an attempt to cleave me. My dying rage was directed at this thing that does not pay the price of peering at tragedy only for pleasure. Are the fruits of what I experience in the dots only ripening now? No, this wrath is towards myself for having forgotten about Garnet even though I surpassed those dots, but also towards that thing which consistently peered without forgetting about Garnet. I stopped the sword I had been plunging in for a while. Two eyes that shed blood and tears look at the single line in the hole, also shedding blood and tears. Now, I am the one who peers. The box, as if screaming, shook unceasingly. I drove the blood-woven blade even deeper into the gap in order to engrave the pain until the end. Clang. As the knife I burrowed deeper into a deeper place in the box, I felt to get caught on something. With all my might, I excruciatingly pulled out the blade, cutting it apart.
Womp.
Boing.
Womp womp.
Everything from the flesh inside the box to the safe-like body was sliced clean. The stream of blood that rose to the ceiling felt like a broken hope that couldn't find a place of rest. The rain of red blanketed its body just as blood covered mine. Without me noticing, the lab was already painted red. The cold laboratory and machinery were stained with blood that could have belonged to anyone, and corpses, each telling its own story, lay strewn about in disarray. Once warm, the blood had cooled down, giving off metallic stench. Yes, if there is a hell, it would look like this. The scenery I've always seen is like this too. By the time I forgot myself in the stillness of the hell before me, I began to hear mechanical noises coming from a speaker somewhere inside the lab. And then a familiar voice leaked out. It was Lanyan's. I already knew what he was going to say. This moment also occurred in one of my innumerable despairs I experienced in the dots. But I cannot say stay calm. My mind was perpetually darkened.
Can you hear me, boss? If he was right, this should be the frequency. I think it's working. I have to tell you this.
Lanzian's breathing was coarse.
Boss, the office has been attacked.
He was talking with difficulty as if throwing up blood over his voice. There exists no device or means to transmit speech from this side. I have no choice but to listen to the words coming one-sidedly from the cold speaker.
That picture we all saw together, the location of that laboratory, was in N-Corp. The taboo hunters came here. They rummaged through the office, killed everyone.
Due to my experience in the dots, I already put together several pieces of the puzzle in my head. The Ring's laboratory, which could have only reached to the corridor, was somewhere within N-Corp, and the footage of their nest, where filming taboo, found its way into our office. Oh, it was set up! Oh, that's disgusting!
They were completely set up, yeah.
Oh my god, that's disgusting, holy shit.
However, somehow, this is Diaz's fault.
However, I thought an office of our grade would be able to negotiate with the taboo hunters before their dispatch. I guess the contents of that tape were a taboo of quite a high level.
And since the film contains something absolutely unpardonable, we who saw the footage were observed and identified in turn.
That's actually vile.
Oh, disgusting. Once N-Corp taboo hunters begin the pursuit, they'll retrieve the footage after disposing of everyone who has seen it. This must have been the reason why Gubo, who worked for N-Corp, was at the Ring's auction house. Through the action, he will go to the laboratory built somewhere in N-Corp, hidden by the Ring within the corridor, identify its location, and retrieve the researcher. The fact that N-Corp's taboo hunters invaded our office, located in V-Corp's nest, also meant that the two wings had already finished the necessary agreements and approvals. One day, I met with a group called Elders of V-Corp. They visited me under the guise of greetings and having a meal with me, and they spoke with the edges of their mouths stretched to the fullest.
Contact us whenever you need it.
Who was the other one?
Who's the other one?
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah,
Sorry.
he's dumb.
I said it, but I had my mic off. Sorry.
Oh, that sucks. Oh man.
We'll always be on your side, Mr. Virgilius. Understand?
Weightless, empty words. They weighed the scales between N-Corp and I, and N-Corp was simply heavier. Their tedious lip service didn't impact the weighing scales at all.
Well, boss, I'm sure you can negotiate with N-Corp's golden horses, so I'm not worried about that, but Rikako, Nansui, and Denver, please take good care of them.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, they're kind of all dead.
Yup. Through the speakers, I can faintly hear the sounds of someone walking from behind the door where Lanier was.
And my special bonus, please pass it to those three when they grow up.
Contact was lost with the roar of something being broken. No more words left behind by Lanyan. Only silence remained again. In the end, what I felt was no different from the emotions I endlessly experienced in Jamsoon's dots. But compared to the myriad of despairs, this was no different from the pain of a paper cut. So it shouldn't hurt anymore, but the knife pierced the abscessed wound again before the calluses could form. I pressed down on the blood that was flowing out and endured it. Now, am I trolling enduring it? I may have already shed all the blood inside me and met my end.
He angry.
Angir.
Angry.
Angir. After cutting the thing down, a small, safe-like box had been left in front of me. I stood up before the unmoving box and quietly stared at it. What kind of monster doesn't die or disappear, but leaves behind something like this? I left the box there and began to take the next step. Now that I've lost everything, I have to leave this place, cut everything down in my path, and go to where I need to go. Because this city needs to be punished. How ironic. Now that I've lost everything, the man who suffered the same came to mind.
Oh boy.
Rolande?
Whose line is it
Don't know.
anyway?
Is this Roland? I
Is
can't
this
tell.
Roland?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it
Maybe
was.
Lolang?
Lolango?
Lolang.
Lolang?
Lolang.
Is this Roland or no? Is this my turn to
Yes,
say
it is.
something?
This is
Yes, it
Roland.
Yeah, this is Roland, I think. Yep, this
Yeah.
is Roland. Blood Red Knight case. This is Roland.
Okay.
Also the mask he's mentioning.
Hey, you're still living a simple life? You've got a color, so why not try doing something that brings a little more money?
It
Why
seems
Roland
marriage was
doing
worth it.
Does it look that way?
Your blade looks duller than we first met, and now that you have that old laughter mixed in, it's quite unpleasant.
I guess it's obvious. Truth is, even back when I wore my mask in front of you, I felt like you could see through me. That pressure in your eyes still hasn't changed. If someone heard this, they think we've met often. We've only worked together doing the Blood Red Knight case, right? Well, that incident did drag on for way too long.
Despite calling my gaze a pressure, he was one of the few people that could casually directly look me in the eye. That man, previously so busy with hiding behind a mask and suppressing himself, now had become so sly he could show his face and talk freely and at length by himself.
That's
Why
you.
are you living? Yeah, why are you living in District 9 when you could have gone to another nest?
Well, the nest we hoped to enter rejected us, but my wife likes it here, so...
In many cases, fixers who have reached a certain grade are denied migration to nest based on past requests, performance, or contracts. Conversely, this means that others are more eager to let high-grade fixers into their nest.
Is this Roland still?
I think so.
I think so.
You know how it is. If you set your mind to it, you can enter a nest. But it's really important which nest you get into. And even there, you have to find a good location. Then a house with the options you like. So you can't even move in that easily. Plus, you have to consider the price of the house, which has been going up in the schools in the area, as they'll become important later on. So that's why people say once you're into a nest, it's hard to move out without a special reason.
You have a lot to say about it, as much as you desire it.
Yeah, I'm a little greedy. So what's your desire? People who've risen to a certain status always want at least one thing, because that's how they crawled their way up.
Those who want to rise above the city have to do everything in their power. It takes a desire that shields one against vice to climb up this cliff, as one wrong step would likely result in fall. Didn't you say this was your last job?
Yep. And it's almost time we get going. Come to think of it, it's pretty crazy that I'm going to do my last job with you.
It wouldn't hurt to tell you at this occasion then. Unwittingly, I lightly spoke about the desires in the world I had pictured in my mind. At our first meeting, he seemed to abhor everything as he saw, such that he would bow his head and hide his face from the world. It was as if he was trying to bear the sins of the city. Was that why I thought he was? Was that why I thought had what it took to understand my world?
I can't tell who's who. I still can't tell.
This is you.
You sure? Seriously?
Yes.
That's unexpected. I don't understand why everyone who gets a color ends up having a screw loose, without exception.
Forget it. You just think of it as an insincere joke either way.
Well, yeah, but considering it's you, it might not be impossible.
A long pause of silence.
But don't take everything
you.
so seriously. That's that, and this is this.
I looked at him quietly, smiling. I can't say I know you well, but I don't think those words suit you. I see. You're exhausted as well, or rather, did your initiative reach its end here? Not wanting to use my eyes any further, I stopped him again, and we executed our request. How long has it been since that day? The city had become brimmed with light and darkness for quite some time. The sound of a piano had also echoed far and wide. By the time I myself realized it, something was already speaking to me in my darkened room.
Red Gaze. Were you involved in this incident?
His voice, which I hadn't heard in a long time, held spiteful malice and murderous intentions. Together with it came a foul stench of blood. I did not notice such a dark presence because of the intense patience of the intruder, who was capable of perfectly concealing it all in the shadows. Black silence. You didn't ask for permission, as usual. I felt as if I could see tear-filled eyes beyond his mask.
Who is this mine?
I've been informed of what happened, and I feel sorry for it. But I'm also curious as to why you believe I was involved in it.
Whose line is that?
And then is you.
Yeah, that's you.
You feel sorry? Quit it with this worthless speech.
My sympathetic feelings were genuine, but it was also true that my words had no worth. There were no words of comfort in this world that I could offer to this person. Grief and sorrow are his to bear, and nothing can replicate them. The same applies to me. As such, there is nothing either of us can do about it. Any words we'll exchange hereafter will not be words meant to touch the heart. Now this one, depending on what I'll say, will try to murder me immediately. And when he does, I must do my best to defend myself and slay him in turn. I must consider all such possibilities and choose my words and action carefully, as if I have starved ravenous beasts in front of me.
Red Gaze. You once told me about the world you desired. It's because of that conversation. Oh, fuck me. That's you. Sorry.
It's because of that conversation we've had in the past that I'll point out you've got it completely wrong. That slip of the tongue was able to understand the wish laden in those words. It was nothing more than a dream I once had. I can't even begin to put it into practice. It's merely an ideal. I looked into the eyes that were hidden somewhere behind the mask. Some time passed, and in time, a deeply hoarse voice arose.
You'd be telling the truth.
The black mask someone calmly opened the door and left, disappearing into the darkness and quiet, never to be seen again. Those words I was unable to speak out, mixed together with the stirring bloodless in the air, whirled around my throat. That's you. Was that me?
I think that
Hold
is
on.
you.
Who's who? Classic.
Whose line is it anyway?
Who is this?
Wait a
I think that's mine.
minute.
I
Who
think that's mine.
are
Sorry.
you?
If such a world came to pass, even you as you are now would be at peace. The silence of that time, which appeared as if an uninvited guest, raised the valid point. The time to create such a world has arrived. And from here, I could only hear a low sound coming from the laboratory. It came from the test tube that contained the orphanage's children. Most of the tubes were forced open, and the children had changed to the glass when they were lying dead on the floor. However, a single test tube remained closed, and now it was slowly opening. I saw a face I thought I would never see again. The face, quietly and expressionless looking at me, was that of Lapis. I ran straight to Lapis. Lapis. She had no external wounds, however, she didn't reply, for her pupils no longer looked at the light, like in the past. Her eyes, no longer bound to the wheel of time, saw a different world beyond this one.
Lapis. I'm not Lapis. My name, Charon.
The ring's glass one experiment was successful. With the success of John Soon's experiment, Lapis no longer exists. Expelled and overwritten by Karen, Lapis is effectively dead. The light I thought was a lighthouse was merely a shadow on the water, and there was no island after all. Thus I decided to turn my back on the child in front of me. It only dug up more of my wounds, so it had to sever our connection before it was built. It was both for me and Karen's sake. I approached the various administrative and recording devices installed in the chamber where Guber and Nansul were. Had to print out and organize all the technical documents about the ring's research. I had to use everything available. So I paid no mind to those whose and how much blood stained this data. The only thing that mattered was whether it was valuable or not. The child in the strange child in the shape of Lapis backed my direction.
Charon, hungry.
Without a reply, I kept collecting documents. The child, without any reaction in particular, walked to another spot. These papers had hold some high valuable information. Companies and fixers would make good deals came to mind. At this rate, I should be able to attain the power needed to take the first step. At the moment I thought so, the corpse of Rikako and Nensol entered the edges of my gaze. I stopped at what I was doing and moved to Rikako's front. His eyes, fallen and backstabbed, looked at the shadows. I closed his eyes. Then I took off his coat and covered Nansul's mince body. Before I realized, Lapis, no, Karen was observing me.
What are you doing? Charon found this shiny thing. It's warm.
Ooh, Krista. Karen reached out her hand. It was a hand with no alertness or fear. Suddenly, the pit of my stomach began to hurt again. The pain that pierced my back, was caused by that very same hand, in one of the many alternate worlds, felt more bearable than this. This is... Karen's hand was a red jewel. The jewel garnet was cocooned in, but was broken and shattered by the saw blades, losing its light and warmth. Yet the piece Karen held was shining as if crying. Among the numerous tiny fragments, this was the only one that shined. I was about to grab the piece Karen held out, but she withdrew her hand again.
Charon found it in that pile, so it's Charon's. I like it. It's warm.
painfully suppress the emotion that seemed to be squeezing in my throat.
Charon is curious about the name of this shiny. Do you know?
Garnet. A jewel that shines red. In the end, my heart didn't wish to exchange words, slowly melted down before this child who had picked up a star in the night. Why does this thing called a heart not work as I wish it to? Boom! Together with the sound of an explosion, one of the lab doors is blown open. They look quite different from M-Corp's taboo hunters. Actually, it doesn't matter who they are. I seize the handle of my gladius once more.
LCA Special Operation Team completed. Entry into operation position. Red has been found. The area is now surrounded by the second camp.
An unfamiliar name was heard, but it didn't matter to me. They were probably just one of the obstacles on the road that I would have to cut down anyway. With that in mind, I was about to put some strength into the hand holding my sword when...
No, there is no need to shred blood anymore.
Someone walked out in the middle of the armed group. A person with hair that seemed white from a distance, but grayish close up, stood before me. She showed no agitation or nervousness towards my sword-wielding appearance, rather than calm. She seemed to be fatigued by everything, a familiar feeling. Boredom.
I am Faust of the Limbus Company.
This is the first time I've heard of such a company. But since this is a company, they must have reckless lab for this technology.
I know what you want, and I can help you achieve it.
I regard it as nothing more than lip service of an employee, truly worthless layman.
Lapis and Garnet, we can give those two back to you.
Charon does not want to give Lapis back.
You mean Garnet? Anyway, I motionlessly stared at her words. I felt my eyes tremble for a moment. I planned to walk the path of my own lonesome, but the red light shining from a jewel shattered to pieces. The warmth of that light offered to me by a child, both familiar yet different. That single sentence from a saint child, which compelled me to turn my head, if only faintly, to the light, and a faded promise from the past. They seized me, stopping me in my tracks.
Oh, about it, Headgaze. Would you like to work with Limbus Company?
I close my eyes. Let's hear what you have to say.
No, I did mean Lapis because Charon is the one who is in place of Lapis.
It's Joe.
Holy crap! No, these chapters were longer than Distortion Detectives for certain.
Yeah.
But what even happened in Leviathan?
Unlimited yapping.
The answer is yes.
Things
So
happen,
much-
let's just say that.
So much yapping. I don't like Leviathan. I don't.
You don't?
I like Leviathan.
I don't like it.
Leviathan is the counter
hate
form of
You hate reading?
I think the beginning of the Leviathan was fine, but at the end there was like too much philosophical shit
Yeah, we're
happening, bro.
banana.
I like.
No, I just I
Yeah,
don't
say
like
that
it.
we are
It's not-
done. We are done with this.
I can't read, bro. I
We
can't
are
read.
Alright, let's start reading Undulation next week.
Oh boy.
Oh God!
I don't think we should get into it next week.
No, we're doing that desync anyway, so we're gonna need to start planning it soon. We're gonna need to start planning it soon. But
Stay
we're doing
tuned
that
for the
desync.
Undulations reading that will happen in 2023.
We need to figure
2023.
out. We need to figure out all the
2023.
for it. I'm gonna stop the recording.
3 years ago.